Hey everybody, how y'all doing? It's Janae Payne, and I'm excited to talk to you about my topic. But before we get into it, I want to tell you guys that my subfield that I like is slave history and social history and military history. But the main one is military history and slave history, not limiting all the other subfields. I'm not against any of them, but it excites me because I'm different, okay? But it has a lot of drama in it and zealousness, and it just keeps you on your toes and it just makes you want to read more. So let's get into this further. So, my topic in the title, I named it Slave Rebellion. There's no other words that need to be said on that. So, I wanted to dive into the patrols and the slave patrols and how they treated the slaves. And nearly in the time of the 1800s, yes, it happened in the 1600s, 1700s, but what I'm focusing on is mainly the 1800s when it came to Nate Turner and Harriet Tubman and so forth as it goes. And so the main question, bear with me guys, the main questions I should say is, why did this method not work for all the slaves? And in the 1800s, how did the patrols enforce active slavery without any type of rebellion? And did the patrols allow slavery rebellion in the South? Okay, so you're just thinking about many different things, like different thoughts, and that's what goes in my mind because I have not read a lot of things that deal with active enforcement. Yes, it says patrols, but why was there still slave rebellion? Why were slaves still becoming free? And it's just like the image of, you can't hold me bound. And they think that they have all this power and a mentality, but it's not such. So I want to dive into that deeper and figure out what happened in between that time. Did they actually know when the slaves left? Was everybody at their posts on time? Was there sickness in between that time that caused for the slaves to be able to rebel? And those are interesting things to me. And also, like I was saying in my previous vlog, was, for example, Virginia, Kentucky, North Carolina, and Tennessee were considered slave states of the South. And knowing that, those are the main states, and slave labor happens so much, and it's just a thought of power, and I have to just emphasize that a lot. But without boring you, to go a little further, so its historical significance relates to now. We have traditional officers. So it's important to know what happened with the patrols, the slave patrols, to understand how we adapt now. And with that being said, direct response to the fear of slave uprising and resistance. And like I was saying before, the present day, there is struggle to racial justice. And so we have to know that, and especially with everything happening now and with immigration and stuff like that, it's like almost one and the same. So it makes you want to go in deeper and like figure out like why, and I want to know like now. And so hopefully I didn't bore you guys a lot, but my overall dissertation research analysis will engage chosen topics, correct content, and precise elements, and I will deal with the 1800s and the slave rebellion and how slave patrols did not authenticate the active duty as they should. So it's too many in-betweens when it comes to that. And I just hope to uncover the reactions of the slaves and how many slaves actually rebelled in the 1800s, how many got away, and how many slave patrols were there in between those states, and just get into it. So I hope you like my video blog.